Whatever stage you're at with your trading, it's important to stop and gain perspective before planning your next move. Take a break from the charts and join in the discussion with our hosts, Jason Graystone and Akil Stokes, as they share insights, opinions, and expertise on all things trading. Grab a coffee, pull up a chair, and join the Trader Coffee Break.
I am Akil Stokes. We're talking a little bit about risk tolerance and I guess kind of specifically in day trading. And it came from, it's funny, we're just having a conversation about AI earlier. It came from a conversation I was having with a newer trader who was looking to get involved. And, you know, there were, I don't want to say of course, but as commonly we see it, looking for kind of the quickest, fastest way to make money in the market. And was talking about day trading because they can do all this stuff really, really fast and take high risk positions as a newer trader because it doesn't mean as much and basically make a lot of money. And I ended up forwarding this trader to the Trader Vault website, which was coincidence because I just looked at this article about a week ago where it kind of talked about the differences between day trading and kind of longer term investing. And I think a lot of traders don't understand kind of the similarities and the differences between them. And I think they also don't understand the risk that is associated with either one. I think I would say the majority of traders, I would guess, assume day trading is like a super risky thing to do, while long-term investing is minimal risk. And I just thought it'd be a cool topic to discuss because it's not actually the truth. It's not actually that black or white when you think about it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's very similar to like, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is like, you know, driving a car, right? If you watch like these F1 races where it's like these are professional race car drivers, like is there a risk at what they're doing because they're driving at high speeds, going around corners and they can crash? Yes, there's risk, but there's minimal risk in comparison to if you put me or you in one of those cars and asked us to go out there. Like I am not kind of trained at driving at those high speeds. I haven't rehearsed that course over and over again. I haven't practiced. It's much more risky if you put me in an Indy car than it is a professional.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what type of car. You could put me in a NASCAR, you could put me in any type of fast car and have me drive fast. If I have less skill, less experience, it's going to be more risky. This is why you look at like auto insurance. Auto insurance costs more when you're under the age of 23 or whatever like that, because you have less driving experience. You're probably a little bit more risky. And trading's the exact same way. I don't think it matters. Like you can blow everything investing, you can blow everything day trading. Like Jason said, it is up to you, and have you put yourself in the position, not just from a skill and experience level, to, take less risk in the market by just doing smarter things, but you have the ability to control how much you literally risk per trade. Like you can risk like 0.5% per trade and be at low risk. You can risk 5% per trade and be at high risk, no matter if you're taking trades on a lower time frame or taking trades on a higher time frame. And I think we bring this up because, one, we're always against traders kind of like, understand the risk you're getting into in the market. And, we're both teachers and coaches. So we talk about developing the skill, and trading being a unique business where you can literally wait until you are ready before ever risking any money. It's really unique in that sense, where you have complete control over that. You don't have to get started until you're ready. But I think what scares away a lot of traders, and what intrigues a lot of traders, is that thing of risk, where a lot of traders or gamblers, maybe I should say, are intrigued because they can risk a lot, and risky a lot means they can make even more, which intrigues them to get into the market, perhaps prematurely. Where other traders, where people that want to get involved in investments or involved in trading, maybe they're a little bit shy because they're scared of that risk. So I think risk in general just gets kind of a bad rap on both ends, I feel.
It really does. It really does. And when people say, like, when you want to learn to trade, you want to focus on becoming a good risk manager, and then the trading kind of is easy. That's so true. Yeah, that is true. That's what you want to focus on. It's how you manage risk, how you dissolve risk, how you diversify risk. And once you do that, there is no risk, really. It's just how you compose yourself, control yourself, and the decisions and actions you take into that game. The same with anything. If you go into a boxing match and you've got like a bad rotator cuff injury, but you've got that injury, but you decide to fight anyway, guess what? That's risky. That is a risk, because one, you could lose your winnings or whatever, or whatever the bet is, but also you could do more damage than when you went in the first place, because you've got an injury. So it's your approach. And I always use the kind of analogy of poker players. Like when I went to Vegas to talk at the Traders for a Cause event, I noticed that there was so many different people in that casino every night, and they would come and go, and they were kind of fluttering around all the different machines, having fun. And there was no consistency, but every single night I noticed the same people at the poker final tournament table. Every night they got to the final. Same people. And that's not luck. That's not chance. That is someone who has a strategy, who's a mitigated risk, and knows how to play the game to have a consistent outcome. That is not risky. So risk is how you approach it. Having said that, the article that you're referring to, which was on the tradervault.com, I recommend that you guys go and check that out, because they've got some great little bite-sized kind of articles that you can read.
Short and sweet, man. Yeah, the way I like it.
It's thought-provoking, though. Like, it triggers some great ideas. And one of the risks that is true is, with day trading, it involves making multiple trades in a single day. So with that, it's like human error naturally increases the more you have to do something. That's why, the less you have to touch something, the less chance there is of human error. If you have to go and play around, like, back in the day, I used to plug into those server racks and things like that. And, we was told that the less you have to go in there, the better, right? Because the less chance of something going wrong. And the same applies. If you're doing something physically as a human more often, then the chances of you making mistakes rises. Therefore, the chances of breaking your risk rules rises. Just statistically, just by the law of averages, all of those risks will increase. So the more you're trading, the more, it's not necessarily the more I trade, the better I'm going to get, and the better I'm going to, it's just the more errors you could potentially make. And
Yeah.
that's it.
And that goes back to the old, the time versus dollars thought, where, people assume that, hey, the more time I spend, if I could just spend 24 hours in the market, I'll make more money, because the more time I spend in front of my charts, the more opportunities I'll see, the more money I'll make. And if you listen to what Jason just said, it's the exact opposite, right? And here's the thing about day trading too, and the unique thing about trading in general. We're at risk from both ends when we take trades. We talk about making mistakes. Most mistakes are going to be psychological mistakes. So it's not like putting the wrong order size on or going in the wrong direction. Like, that stuff happens, but most of it is stuff like fear, greed. So we're getting hit from both sides in the market the more we trade. If we're on a losing streak, we get either scared to enter trades, or we get fearful, or we want to get revenge, right? Though that's a whole level of mistakes that we may make. If we're on a winning streak, we get greedy, we want more. Maybe now we're scared to enter trades, we don't want to give it back. That's a whole nother level of mistakes we can make. So no matter what side you are, if you're winning or losing in the market, right, you're opening yourself up to a brand new book of mistakes. And it's just like, it's especially for a newer trader, where you're not used to navigating them. Imagine like you're walking through a blizzard and they're flying at you, and you have to try your best to duck, dive, and dip. And it's just, until you've gained the experience and the confidence to like be focused and tunnel vision and swat those things away, it's very difficult. So, we always tell newer traders when they ask us, should I start day trading, swing trading? We tend to recommend swing trading, mostly because you have more time to do analysis. You can kind of slow down your heartbeat. You can double, triple check. You can, shoot us a message on the chat. Some people did this the other day. We're like, hey, I got this 4-hour setup completing in about 3 hours. Just want to double check. Am I seeing this right? You can get feedback, versus kind of being like right in the mix where everything is coming like that F1 race. And it's very difficult, especially as a trader that just doesn't have that experience of dealing with it yet. You're kind of jumping right into the fire, which is
absolutely
tough.
It's like learning boxing, then getting straight in the ring with Mike Tyson. Someone who's swinging like very, very fast punches. You're not going to be able to deal with it. You're not going to be able to deal with it. I always use the analogy of like guitar, right? You're going to get on the stage with Metallica when you know a few chords. You're not going to be able to keep up. But it's the same chords. You just can't move quick enough. So the more you practice and the more that becomes second nature, then you naturally speed up and you don't think about those things. So it's the same skill. It's just the risk comes from trying to do it too quickly, too soon. And that is another risk. Another risk for day trading is the time commitment in terms of consistency. So one of the most important things is obviously consistency, because you want to mimic the results that you've tested. You want to get as close to those results in your live trading, if not better, than you're testing. So if that means you have to be very consistent, right? You have to do it exactly the same as the testing. If you're trying to trade lower time frames and someone knocks at the door, or the postman needs a signature, things like this, like serious things that you don't think about. Postman needs a signature, or they're going to leave with your parcel, and you're about to get in the trade, right? That's a problem. So picking the kids up from school, taking the bins out, the bin men come with their lorry and you forgot to take the bin out the front, and you've got 2 weeks worth of bins, right? You got to run for that thing. And it's like, I can't let this go. I've got to get the bins out. Otherwise they're not going to take the bins for another 2 weeks. That's a real problem that people don't think about. And if you're just about to place an order, or you've just placed your entry order, but you haven't covered the stop, you've now got to run out and worry about the trade like going in your direction or whatever. So you make mistakes through to consistency, because you're trying to focus on trades at the time of day that you can't trade. And that is where risk comes from. That's where over risk, excessive position size, making mistakes, being in trades you shouldn't be in, not being in trades you should be in, all those kind of things that I talk about in journaling. Those are the mistakes that add risk to your trading when you're trying to do something like that. So yes, if you look at it like that, day trading is a lot riskier than swing trading or trading higher time frames. But risk is still down to your approach. You can choose not to do day trading. You can choose not to be in those trades when you shouldn't be. You can choose to build a strategy or a trading system around your lifestyle and your personality and your daily commitments, right? So that's the risk is all on you as an approach to trading rather than I'm now in trading. This is risky. That's a wrong way round of looking at it.
Dude, I love it. It's so like, it's such an interesting look. Like I wish I knew this as a newer trader. Someone explained it to me like this, if just because like, because I like control and just the understanding that I can have control over something is just, it's so powerful instead of kind of, because I was the type that, I would blame this and that and blah, blah, blah. But I think if you're new, give this some thought. We may sound like two crazy people up here, but if you actually think about it and understand that you are in control of your risk when it comes to trading, it's not like driving a car where other people can do crazy things and blah, blah, blah. You only have a certain amount of control. You pretty much have 100% control or 99.9% control over your risk. And when you understand that, that's a very powerful position to be in.
Think of it this way. This is a great kind of way, way to finish, I guess. If I said, look, should we have a McDonald's today? And you say, look, you're probably not likely to say this, but imagine if you said, oh, it's a bit risky of getting fat. Well, one McDonald's isn't going to make you fat, right? But if you keep doing it, yes, you're going to get fat, but that's your choice to keep eating McDonald's or just have the one, right? So your position size is that one Big Mac rather than every day.
Sorry.
But it's the same thing. You're not going to, like, if I said, should we go for a McDonald's? You probably wouldn't say, oh, it's a bit risky of getting fat, because you know you can control your actions. It's exactly the same in trading. If I said, do you want to place a trade? And you go, well, it's a bit risky trading. Well, it's not if you know how to approach it. So that's kind of the best way that I could get it through to anyone who's thinking about it.
I'm glad we don't have a McDonald's sponsor, man. We'd be out of, the contract would be torn up.
Yeah. Yeah, don't eat McDonald's. It's bad. So, yeah, I mean, left to say, go and check out the tradervault.com. That's where we got this idea from. And they got some great little they got great images on there, like that are thought-provoking in themselves. And then you read these little bite-sized articles. It's great. Love it. Really, really good resource. So highly recommend that. Akil, anything else left to say?
Yeah, I'll just end this one thing. Just again, we're talking all about Trader Vault today, but I've recently added it to my routine because it's something that I was supposed to start doing it a while ago, and I did, and I got out of that habit. But I started again this year. Is I want to do something each day that makes me think, like different than trading, different than regular stuff. Something that just kind of makes me kind of ponder and wonder, and then it's been a great mental exercise. And I started stumbling across the Trading Vault articles, and it's just cool because I read it takes like a minute, and then I sit there and I'm like, I never thought about that before. Yeah. I feel like whether I get the answer or I don't, or whether I discuss it with someone else, it's just it's been a big part of my routine in general, just doing something each day that makes you think. And I think if you guys want to kind of continue to grow and be creative, I think that's something you should take maybe 15 minutes to do each day. It's just it's cool.
Awesome.
Mental exercise.
Yeah, man. Great way to finish. Yep. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in for another week of the Trader Coffee Break. My coffee's now gone, so I'm gonna go and check out. I've had actually good week in the markets this week. So gonna go and check out some trades. And until next week, guys, have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you then.
Thanks for joining us for the Trader Coffee Break. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to never miss a live discussion. Follow our hosts on social media, and remember, do nothing to gain perspective on everything. See you next week.